And these girls want to play at the highest level, and they should be. Their performances dictate they should be up there. So yeah, if they can keep those nerves at bay, that would be a good thing. But these opening few exchanges will probably say how the game's going to go.
Yeah, Palace will hope to settle into their stride early, as mentioned. If they win, they go up regardless of what happens at the Valley. So they will hope for an early goal to settle the nerves. The Peacock for Portsmouth. Back to Jess Gray in the Portsmouth goal. He kicks it long, but it's headed straight back into the Portsmouth half with Peacock again. Signed on loan in January. Oh, and nearly Gray getting caught out there. The Palace not quite able to pounce. Kirsty Howard trying to run down the goalkeeper. Got a touch on it. Could have been a very fortuitous opening. Signs of early intent from Crystal Palace. Portsmouth try to bring it away. Charlie Escort, former Reading player, with a wayward pass, which trickles out of play. What have you made, Chloe, of Palace's development as a club since your days there? Obviously, they've had that season in the Super League. It didn't go to plan. They find themselves back in the second tier and amongst the front runners. Are we going to see them as a yo-yo club, or do you hope that if they do seal promotion, they can go on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a transitional few years for Palace, and it can cause a little bit of upset in the squad when you're moving up and down the tiers. Your emotions are really high, then they're really low again as you get relegated. So they need to find consistency. But I think they'll have a lot of learnings from their time in the WSL last time round. They'll know that the investment is going to be needed to try and bolster the squad and make sure they're as competitive as possible next year, and make sure we don't have the same issues.
Shot comes in from Roboff. Oh, what a save from Yanez. It was just dipping into that top corner. Ava Roboff and back in the starting lineup for Portsmouth. Saw Yanez just a yard or two off her line. But Yanez read it, fingertips it over the bar.
Really quick adjustment there from Yanez. You can see that she's quite a way off her line. She gets right back onto the line just to tip it over. And it's not easy for a goalkeeper. You've got the sun in your eyes. It's a really strong start from Portsmouth to get that shot away. But
from the corner, it would appear that Portsmouth have taken a shock lead. Well, just seconds after a fine save from Yanez. The corner caught out the Palace defence and the Palace goalkeeper. And this is exactly the start that Crystal Palace did not want. Meg Hornby with her 8th goal of the season, an impressive tally for a struggling side. Direct from the corner, caught Yanez out. And Crystal Palace find themselves behind in a game they're probably going to need to win against the side who was relegated from BWSL 2 last weekend. We were saying, weren't we, Chloe, that with the pressure off, Portsmouth might be able to spring a surprise, and they've certainly got a surprise lead here. On that replay, do you feel like Yanez could have done better, or was it just a very well-taken corner?
I mean, it was a very well-taken corner. Obviously, they've tried to put pressure on Yanez by delivering it so close to her. But, I mean, we saw her get the hand to the initial save, and then I'm not too sure what went on in terms of it going looping over her shoulder. And I think there was Ashley Weedon again at the back there, not able to get it out. But this is not a great start from Palace at all. And I think, the nerves and the anxieties do creep in, but it's what they can do now.
Is there an immediate response with Weirden? Still Ashley Weirden, lays it across. Oh, what a save by Gray. A brilliant save, end-to-end stuff in the early exchanges here. Gray again with the fingertips. Oh, and another block. Goalmouth scramble. And Portsmouth survive. It was Abby Larkin who forced the initial save out of Gray, who then quickly responded again with a second block. Portsmouth scramble it away. Well, if anyone thought Portsmouth were going to just lie down and die here and be on the beach in the early spring sunshine, it's not to be. They've taken a shock lead and they are defending stoutly as Palace try to find an instant response.
That's a really great response from Palace. I mean, it obviously feels like a mistake in allowing that goal so easily, but we see Ashley Bearden here on that lovely little cutback, and it looked like it was just going to be quite an easy slot home, but Gray did so well to get her body in front of that. And again, she's kept the ball out of the net, that great looping save, and you've got defenders there on the goal line clearance, but Portsmouth 100% so resolute to keep this very early lead. It's going to be a long day if Palace keep putting the game to them like that.
Yeah, the nerves, the emotions. I think we're going to have it all here in Sutton this afternoon, because this is exactly what Crystal Palace did not want. Remember, a draw for them would be enough, as long as that other game at the Valley isn't a draw. If that game remains a draw. And here is Blanchard. Blanchard tries to play it off the outside of her left boot. It's Veerden. Again a save. Well, in fact, I think it must have flicked off the base of the post, because it's a goal kick. I thought Gray had got a boot to it. Ashley Veerden, twice close already in this opening 6 minutes.
She's such an incredible player, Veerden. She's been absolutely prolific with Crystal Palace. You can see here Annabelle Blanchard just on the shoulder trying to get that early cutback, and Veerden I think should have probably done a little bit better with that, but it just nicks the post and go out. But it's a real good sign of intent from Palace to try and equalise things really early.
Jo Potter, the manager, will be impressed with the response that she's seen from her side. Going behind to that shock goal, a 3rd-minute corner from Meg Hornby, finding its way directly into the back of the net. It's not the first time Portsmouth have done that this season. It was Georgie Freeland who scored direct from a corner in the derby with Southampton. Certainly makes it interesting from a neutral perspective. Makes it interesting too, I'm sure, for Charlton and Birmingham. As the news filters through to their fans at the Valley, I'm sure they'll be buoyed by what they've heard. Portsmouth have only won 4 games this season. One of them was against Palace in November. One of them was against Charlton, the league leaders. They're looking for another shot, but here's Larkin down the right channel this time. Abby Larkin tries to square it. Takes on her player, Wilding. Can't win the corner though. Abby Larkin has been another really impressive player for Crystal Palace this season. 8 goals, she's in with a chance of the Golden Boot. There's a cluster of players on 8 goals, and Rio Hardy of Bristol City on 9, as is Amy Andrews of Sheffield United on 9. It's another of the subplots this afternoon. Jess Gray, both goalkeepers busy in this first 7 minutes, Chloe.
Yeah, this is it's not particularly sometimes what you want as a goalkeeper to be tested this early on, but I think, you know, for Gray especially, she's pulled out some really critical saves at a good point in the game. So I think, you know, sometimes when that happens, you do feel a little bit more confident, you do feel a bit buoyed by it.
Here's Shepherd for Portsmouth, looking for an early second. Robotham, who forced that save out of Yanez, that led to the corner, which in turn led to the goal. Nixon dispossessed by Sharp, and Blanchard's knocked to the floor by Nixon, so it'll be a Crystal Palace free kick. Angelina Nixon, regular starter this season. This is her 8th start. She's come off the bench 11 times too. Ball asks too much of Nolan.
I think you really have to give credit to Portsmouth for how they're showing up in this game. You know, we're 8 minutes in and already they've, you know, scored 1 goal and look intent on getting another, and you forget sometimes, you know, what this game means to them. Essentially, you know, the relegation has already been sorted, but they're playing in a way as if the title was something that they were in contention for.
You can see, well, the table as it stands, Palace in 3rd place, heading into the playoff against Leicester, because that other game at the moment is still tied at 0-0. Escort for Portsmouth. You do fear a bit for the team that finishes in the 3rd position, because to wait 3 weeks until the WSL season has finished, we found out in midweek Leicester confirmed as the bottom club after that defeat against Arsenal. It'll be a one-off playoff. The WSL2 team will have the home advantage, but from the joy of getting the job done today to really the comparative despair of having to go again for a really tough tie against a WSL side, Chloe.
Yeah, I think the greatest thing about that playoff, I suppose, is you do have that home advantage. But, you know, Leicester are absolutely going to put up a fight against whoever they'll be playing against. But what it does essentially is kind of give you those rejected sort of 3 weeks that you have less to prepare yourself for the WSL season if you manage to get that promotion or secure your space in the WSL. So it does really matter. You know, the players are tired. It's been a very long season for everyone, and I think what they want more than anything else is to get things wrapped up as early as possible so they can enjoy that summer break and really reflect on their successes and hopefully what they're going to get up to in the WSL 1.
Cato tries to thread it through. It's now with Milner of Portsmouth. I do wonder how Portsmouth feel too, the fact they don't get the chance to play off. Leicester, the bottom club in the WSL, do, but Portsmouth go directly down, even though BWSL 2 is also expanding to 14 teams. Oh, lovely ball through to Blanchard. Blanchard takes her time to wait for support. Finds Sharp. It flicks up off the boot of Wilding. It's with Sharp once more. Molly Sharp brings Palace level. What a response from Crystal Palace. 7 minutes after going behind, Molly Sharp hits the goal which renews their hope of promotion to BWSL.
Oh, you could feel it building. Palace were trying to do their absolute best to get the equaliser as soon as possible. And, you know, you spoke about Molly Sharp at the top of the show, and that's a great ball there in to get Blanchard involved in the play. And, you know, she sees that cut back just on the edge of the box. Molly Sharp's great movement, trying to get that first shot away, and then she follows up, and that's the work rate that Molly Sharp delivers. She's never content if it's been saved. She'll go and go again until that ball is in the back of the net. So, yeah, what a great moment for her. Heart to the crowd as well. The crowd have been a massive part of the support this season, and you can see how lively they're being and hopefully seeing their team getting promoted in this game. But what a great comeback from Palace.
Real persistent. Abby Larkin involved in the move too. See from the replay, there was no danger of offside. Both Larkin and Sharp stayed onside. And Palace level. Much needed response. Molly Sharp's 5th goal of the BWSL 2 season. Oh, a lovely ball through, but it asks a bit too much of Veerden in the end. And we can look at how that goal has affected the BWSL 2 table. Palace, in fact, now on 42 points, I think they would be. They were 41 at the start of play. And so, with the goal here bringing things level, they'll be moving up onto 42 points. A draw for Palace is enough this afternoon if there's a winner in the other game. That's the only way 1 point will be enough for Palace if either Birmingham or Charlton win. Sharp, the goal scorer, down this right-hand side where she causes so much mayhem. Can't get to that ball from Larkin. Milner inside and Nixon flicks it up. It went into Sharp's face. She's okay. It's with Blanchard. Blanchard wriggles inside. She's got Howard ahead of her and Veerden to her left. A bit too much weight on the pass. Still Veerden. Veerden with a cross, and it's going to drift out of play on this. In fact, Molly Sharp's going to keep it in as she scurries across. Tries to take it past Nixon, but Nixon holds firm. And Nixon wins the ball back for Portsmouth. Loops a long ball forward to Shepherd. Nolan holds her off. Nixon flicks it over the top. Escort can't get there because Nolan's there once more. Ball will drop to Shepherd, who can't quite keep it in. Milner with the throw-in for Portsmouth. Took an early lead, quickly pegged back. Certainly giving their all in a game which has nothing riding on it for them other than pride. Escort. With the layoff to Hornby, the goal scorer. She knocks it in low and it's clattered away. Swaby with the long ball forward, way too long. It will go all the way through to Gray, who pulled off a couple of really decent early saves for Portsmouth before Palace got that equaliser.
think it'll be interesting to see now how Portsmouth really respond to that. I think, you know, we have already seen them trying to lift a couple of balls in. It looks like they're trying to go a little bit more direct, essentially. But, you know, another goal for them would really cause a further upset. And it does feel like it's a bit of a topsy-turvy one. I'm flicking between this score and also the other score to see what the permutations really look like as the game goes on. But it's nervy, I think, from both sides. But, you know, Palace have to be a little bit buoyed by the fact of, you know, Portsmouth's defensive rate is not great at all. They're going to have opportunities and further opportunities to put some light between themselves. But yeah, it just feels like they need to get a handle of the game a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not going to be the only one flicking between the scores, Chloe. I think there's going to be a lot of that going on this afternoon here in Sutton and also in living rooms throughout the country and beyond. Here is how that Palace equaliser leaves the table right now. Charlton lead the way by a point from Birmingham because that game is still goalless. Palace with the point here on 42, but trailing on goal difference. Birmingham's goal difference so much more handsome than Palace's. There's nothing they can do about that really this afternoon because it's a tall order. It would need an 8-goal swing, 9-goal swing really, because it would then go to goals scored. So as things stand, Palace need to win this game because that other game is still being drawn. Here's Blanchard. Lovely footwork from Blanchard, who hits the bar, goes from distance, and it almost drops in. What a goal that would have been to take the lead for the first time this afternoon, but not quite inches away.
I was just about to criticise Blanchard there for running into a bit of space. I know she's got some great feet and she adapted that great footwork there, but I thought that was a bit speculative, but it did just dip and hit the crossbar. But, you know, we did see Molly Sharp on that right-hand side calling out for the ball to try and cross it over where there was more space. But credit to Blanchard for taking the shot because it was inches away from being 2-1.
Blanchard again with the layoff and the shot comes in, fingertips away by Gray, who's having a splendid afternoon between the posts for Portsmouth. And Blanchard finding that pocket of space now, pulling the strings, orchestrating the Palace attacks. Low curling shot in, palmed away by Gray.
That's a great save there by Gray. She had a couple of players in front of her there. She didn't have a long time to react to that one, so credit to her for parrying that out and not putting that into any further danger.
Eden prepares to take the corner, having done up her left bootlace. In swinger towards the far post, but it's comfortable for Gray. Oh, and in the end she gets the ball away. It was almost hindered in her initial distribution, and referee Julia Kings does blow up. Free kick for Jess Gray because you can't prevent a goalkeeper from kicking from hands these days in the way that you used to.
The good old days.
Annabelle Blanchard having a great game, and what a shot that was, just flicking off the crossbar. Scored on her 100th appearance last week for Palace, did Blanchard against Sunderland. Was looking for another on her 101st. She has got 5 goals in BWSL 2 this season. She was one of the 6 players still at Palace who was part of that promotion squad 2 years ago. Has that experience of knowing what it takes on the final day. Of course, that year Palace went up as champions, as you had to do. It was in the 2nd spot that year. Hasn't been in many of the years. Howard for Palace. Back to Nolan, who just gets it away from Shepherd. Inez, who made that really fine early save, which led to the corner from which she was beaten directly by Meg Hornby. He's not had a lot to do since then. It's been a really impressive response from Palace. Stakes obviously so much higher for Palace this afternoon, with not just promotion on the line, but potentially the title too. Portsmouth just playing for their own pride. It's certainly shown a lot of that so far in these first 19 minutes. Nixon tries to thread it through to Shepherd. Swaby clears, and it's headed on by Howard to Larkin. Peacock Comes off of Carto, it's back to Nolan. She rolls it all the way back to Yanez.
I think for both teams, there definitely does seem to be a little bit of a nervousness with both. You haven't seen sort of long passages of play where both teams have managed to keep the ball and thread those passes together. And I think, you know, Palace were kind of dealing with that momentum they were having, that shift to try and get that equaliser. But now it kind of feels like the players' majority in the middle of the pitch at the moment. But we're not seeing a lot of stringent play with Palace so far.
Yeah, I can only imagine how hard it must be to contain those nerves as a player. It's always tough enough as a fan or as a neutral watching games with this much riding on it. Little John tries to weave a way through. Hornby's gone down, holding the small of her back. Referee Julia Kings has given a foul against Little John for the push on Meg Hornby.
Slightly dangerous area from which to concede a free kick, one of those dinked-in balls. We've already seen how difficult it was for some of those aerial balls for Shea Yanez, and she wants to avoid that happening again. So Palace need to avoid trying to concede those fouls in these areas.
It's Jasball, the captain, and Sophie Barker, who looks a more likely person to knock this into the danger zone. And it comes from Barker, headed away. Picked up by Larkin, who lays it off to Veerden. Veerden dinks it over the top to try and find Blanchard, but Barker gets there first for Portsmouth and sends it all the way back to Gray. Milner, lovely footwork from the 19-year-old, and now it's with Escort. Ray Bofford. Shepherd. Barker out to Milner. She finds Nixon. Angelina Nixon gains a good few yards, but now she's forced back. Peacock. Long ball forward once more. But that's easy for Palace to deal with. Sharp, the goal scorer, dispossessed by Angelina Nixon. It's just become a bit scrappy in this last couple of minutes. Milner, joined on loan from January from Brighton, did Milner. Nixon, lovely footwork to take it beyond Sharp and Carse, but she can't quite pick out Shepherd. Laid off by Howard, too much on it for Blanchard. Milner finds Nixon, loses her footing, but recovers in time. Can Nixon get the shot away? It's blocked by Everett. Barker picks it up. Lovely ball out to Hornby. Cries of handball against Hornby. It has been given. Not really much she could do about it. Again, in the olden days, I don't think that had been given, but or maybe you could argue in a slightly unnatural position.
Bit of a warning really for Palace in the last couple of minutes, where Portsmouth have kind of crept a little bit more into the game. You can see the nerves there from Palace with a couple of, you know, mystery passes where it's just not gone to the intended target at all. And you can see Joe Potter there trying to give these directions and just sort of telling them to, you know, protect the ball, trying to keep the ball, you know, keep possession, build up the passage of play and try and take it forwards. But, you know, some of these misplaced passes are putting them in more danger, and that's not what they want to do as the minutes start to creep on. They've got to be going more direct and to try and get, you know, 2-3 goals to put some distance between them and Portsmouth.
Joe Potter knows all about the big occasion too. Of course, she was part of that England squad that finished third at the 2015 World Cup. She won the FA Cup as a player with Birmingham. There's Jay Sadler, the Portsmouth manager. His team fought pretty much to the end this season. Carried their battle for survival till the penultimate weekend last weekend. I think it was, well, the break off, because here's Hornby again for Portsmouth. She wriggles inside, lays it off to Escort. Bull to Barker. Veerden. Veerden knocks it down the line. Oh, that's a lovely little layoff by Howard. I was going to say, what I think must be really disappointing for Jay Sadler is I think he will have seen a lot of improvement from last season, when Portsmouth really looked like they were going to go down even till March and somehow staged a great escape. They've looked a lot more stable this season. They've picked up results more consistently, and yet here they find themselves relegated from the second tier.
Well, I think we're seeing that kind of heart and determination that Portsmouth have had. I mean, like you said, they were sort of almost settled into that relegation spot and they'd given up, but there was this heart and determination that really got themselves out of this hole. And then we look at the game like today, you know, they're first to score within the first 5 minutes. They're, you know, putting the game to Palace. They're trying to get that second goal, but they're not making things easy and they're really limiting their chances. And this is the Portsmouth, they're a good side. They're a really good side, but they've had some unfortunate runs.
Larkin with the ball through, the flag stays down, Howard with the shot, but the flag does go up in the end, and she did look offside. Correct decision, I think, from the officials. I was mentioning how Portsmouth won't get the chance to play off for their own survival. The rule's different in BWSL 2. They finish bottom, so they go down. Just a replay of the Howard shot. She had strayed just offside. Must say congratulations to Burnley and Watford, who are both coming up as champions of the Northern and Southern Premier Leagues respectively. There will be a playoff as well between the runners-up of those divisions, Wolves and Plymouth. Good luck to both of them in Burton on Monday. As both the top two flights of English football expand to 14 teams from next season. We're going to have even more football to enjoy throughout the course of the season in both BWSL and BWSL 2. And we've been treated to plenty of sensational storylines between September and here today, May the 2nd. Of course, there'll still be one last chapter, the promotion relegation playoff final between Leicester and, as it stands still, either Charlton, Birmingham or Crystal Palace on May the 23rd. Winner takes all that day, just a one-off playoff to decide whether Leicester get the right to stay in BWSL or whether Charlton, Birmingham or Palace replace them. Gray, been a very busy goalkeeper early on. Has pulled off some sensational stops. Now it's with Veerden, such a dangerous player down the left-hand side. Not on that occasion. She has created more assists than anyone in this division, 9 this season, Ashley Veerden. Nixon loses out to Sharp, but it will be a Portsmouth throw. Milner prepares to take the throw. May well have been a goal at the Valley. The promotion fight takes another twist. We had 2 early goals here. We have had a goal at the Valley, and let's see who it's gone to. Birmingham on the charge, and the visitors have taken the lead. Birmingham in front. Well, that, of course, is great news for Birmingham. It takes them top of the table as things stand. It's good news too for Palace, because as long as there is a winner there, doesn't matter who wins, then a draw will be enough for Crystal Palace. They would go ahead of Charlton on goal difference as things stand. Here's Howard. Howard squares it, tries to pick up Blanchard, back to Howard into the side netting.
That's really, really great play for there from Howard. She's doing her absolutely best to keep to the last minute of being onside, and she does just that. And you can see she's, you know, looking for that cut back there. The disappointment that she feels from not getting that one, but the chances will come for her. You can see how much it means to her to have missed that. But you know, this driving run, she's constantly looking up, trying to get that cut back in, and then when it doesn't transpire, she tries to go herself. And it does look like Gray maybe has the near post covered, but that's a great chance from Howard.
I wonder whether news of that lead hammer goal for Birmingham will filter through as Jess Gray is down, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, receiving treatment.
Palace are in this really unique situation, I think, at the moment. You kind of don't want to know what's happening in the game. What you need to stay focused on is trying to score more goals and trying to get this win, because that is the guaranteed place. You can't kind of keep adapting your game style or your plan or your mentality based on what's happening in another game. The only thing Palace need to think about is trying to get that chance and trying to make sure that they secure promotion. So I kind of almost want to know. Ignorance is bliss, I think, sometimes.
Well, you read my mind, Chloe. I was just about to ask you that, because I think, yeah, Palace can keep focused on the job in hand. They know if they win, they're up, regardless. And I'm sure that's a message Joe Potter will have drummed into them throughout the week. It's in our own hands. We've got to focus on our task. And actually, they've been the team doing that over the recent weeks. It feels like the pressure certainly started to get to Charlton and even to Birmingham with that defeat last week, shock defeat to Ipswich. But Crystal Palace, week after week, have been finding a way to win. They've got to do that again. Jay Sadler and his troops have started really well here this afternoon. Portsmouth have been a real credit to the BWSL 2 in this opening half hour of a game when they've already been relegated.
I mean, I've got to give a bit of a shout out also to Gray, because I think she's been absolutely phenomenal in this opening half an hour. You know, the saves that she's pulled out have really kept Portsmouth in the game and made sure they've not put too much distance between them and Palace. And I think even that late Howard chance that we saw 5 or 6 minutes ago, she didn't quite know whether it was going to be offside and whether she was going to see that flag, but she still pulled off one of the most amazing saves. So, yeah, she's really kept them in it. She's been absolutely incredible for them, and she's so calm, cool and confident at the back.
We just saw on the table there, Birmingham top as things stand, Palace in that second automatic position, Charlton at the moment having to settle for the playoffs because of their inferior goal difference to Crystal Palace. So we've already had a couple of twists and turns in the first half hour of this final day of the BWSL 2 season. Swaby brings it forward for Palace and picks out Blanchard. Lovely pass it was from Swaby, lovely ball across to Larkin, but she couldn't quite connect. And that was an easy one for Gray, who kicks quickly to Shepherd.
Really unfortunate there for Larkin. It looked like the ball just got trapped underneath her feet. She wasn't able to just sort of convert that into the back of the net.
Milner unintentionally, I think, caught Larkin there as she just backed into her. And Julia Kings, the referee, just comes across to check on Abby Larkin. Who's on her haunches, but is now, and she's holding a jaw. This is the incident in question, and as they tussled for the ball and Milner turned, her elbow did just catch the jawline of Larkin.
Nothing too malicious in it. I think she just tried to get her arm in the way and tried to make the best use of her body there. But I think, like you said, Larkin just got caught there on the chin. Not a nice one.
Drops to Everett, and now with Escorts. Lovely ball to Hornby. Swaby forces her wide at the expense of a throw-in. Palace have very much been the form team, 6 wins from their last 7. Charlton have only won 1 of their last 6 going into this decider that they are facing at the moment with Birmingham at the Valley. Charlton trailing that game as things stand. Birmingham and Crystal Palace going up to the BWSL. Charlton having to play off against Leicester. But I'm sure that won't be the last twist this afternoon. Larkin surges down the middle. Got Howard to her left. She's outpaced her. Still Larkin. She's forced wide. Still holds on to the ball and tries to pick out that top corner, but got it all wrong. And it's well wide of the post.
That's a really, really great one there from Larkin. I think, you know, she's trying to go direct. She's trying to take the game to Portsmouth. And the first thing in her mind there with that great little cut in, she's trying to use her left foot to just curl it into that top left-hand corner, but just goes a little bit too wide.
Yeah, she's certainly a player capable of executing a shot like that, but not on this occasion. Has scored 8 goals this season for Crystal Palace. The season she's had also that last-minute winner for the Republic of Ireland against Belgium the other side of the new year, which helped her national team back into Nations League 8. And there's Amy Everett, the Crystal Palace captain, another of the players who was part of the last promotion squad 2 seasons ago. As it experienced the joy of going up, the pain of coming back down, and is hoping for another promotion celebration this afternoon.
You forget sometimes how young Amy Everett still is. I mean, she took over the captaincy at such a young age. I think she was only sort of 22 or so, 23, when she first took over. And I was fortunate enough that she was actually my captain when I used to play there. And I think, you know, you forget that the maturity that she has, the composure that she has in these big moments. You know, she's been there throughout the thick and thin with Palace, taking them up, taking them down, and trying to maintain a level-headedness with the squad. And yeah, she's a great person behind the scenes. Such maturity. You can always go to her, and she's a big part of why the mentality and the positivity of Palace continues.
Yeah, she was the BWSL 2 Player of the Month for March as well, was Amy Everett, a rock at the heart of that Crystal Palace back line. Nixon for Portsmouth. Hornby's on the charge, but there is Everett to tidy up and lay it short to Nolan. Sharp, the Palace goal scorer. It's given away. Head tennis, and now it's with Milner. Carso, the Swedish under-23 player. Swaby is dispossessed, but it is a Palace throw, taken short to Carto. Vierden holds off the challenge well. Goes all the way back to Yanez.
It's good from Portsmouth when they're trying to convince Palace to go in those, you know, the left and the right flanks there, and when they do, they're compressing and compacting and making sure they... I was nervous there for Shea Yanez.
Yeah, Carto's pass back wasn't in the direction of Yanez, but Yanez read it, scampered across a goal and got there well in time in the end, and Sharps conceded a rather needless free kick for a push on Nixon. Well, I think she must have caught her foot because Nixon's gone down holding her right shin. You can see again, oh well, unintentional tangle of legs, but it was a free kick indeed.
Again, not a great area for Palace to concede a free kick in.
No, Portsmouth are pretty decent. Meg Hornby is very good from this kind of position, her deliveries. She likes to loop them high and just kind of almost drop a bomb on the defence. She loops them up into the air and then just sees what havoc she can wreak, often to great effect.
Yeah, slight saving grace now. The sun seems to have gone down, so that's one less negative factor for Shea Yanez to have to consider.
Barker and Hornby prepare for the delivery. Hornby with the two hands high. She does go for the left footer. Oh, it's headed well over the bar and the flag's up anyway. Chance goes begging for Portsmouth. Palace breathe a sigh of relief. Stephen Walsh, the assistant referee, the flag up on that far side. Yanez just knocks the ball off the roof of her goal netting. You can have a look at the tail of the tape briefly, but here's Larkin who sends it on to Sharp. Lovely run from Sharp on the overlap, but it's not the greatest delivery from Molly Sharp. Escort picks it up for Portsmouth.
A little bit too early there for Molly Sharp. I think she could have looked up a little bit earlier and seen that there was not many bodies running into the box. I think given it another 1 or 2 seconds or so, and she would have had a little bit more support there to find the player.
Well, the early match stats, shots on target, 9 from Palace, just shows how well Gray has played in that Portsmouth goal. 2 from Portsmouth, 2 on target for Portsmouth. Only 3 of Palace's a little bit wasteful in what they've been creating. Sharp with the header. Tries to bundle away beyond Escort, does really well. And back to Swaby, who knocks it through to Blanchard. Blanchard's caught out by Nixon, but unfairly, says the referee. Nixon caught the player before the ball. Free kick taken quickly. Nolan to Larkin. Larkin inside to Blanchard, who's done really well to hold on to it, but she is dispossessed. Wins it back once more and wins Palace a free kick.
I think that's the beauty of Annabelle Blanchard. Sometimes she keeps the ball. She's she's very, very good and very nimble with her feet, but that can frustrate players, and she's trying to draw that foul, especially in an area like that. And you can see, she's putting her body in between the player and the ball, and she's done exactly what she intended. So it's a fair play to her. That's it's a good tactical advantage there from Blanchard.
Free kick for Palace. As things stand, they are going up, but if they want to be absolutely sure, and they don't have to worry about what's happening at the Valley, they want another goal, because if they win, they're going up regardless. Vierden prepares for the free kick. Looped in low, it comes all the way through to Blanchard. Swaby over the bar, got right under the ball. Never in any danger of finding the back of the net, that one.
Yeah, I thought that should have been a slightly better delivery. It didn't feel like it even went over the first couple of players there, but they did absolutely well. I mean, Swaby did absolutely well to try and get a foothold in it, but she's just lifted her body up and it's gone well over. But good intentions from Palace. They just need to start being a little bit more aggressive, I think, and try and get this second goal.
Yeah, how they'd love to get that second goal before the break. 5 minutes plus added time until the break. First half that's flown by. Milner to Nixon. Nixon takes it beyond Carto. Managed to just about roll it across the edge of that 6-yard box, but Palace do get it away. Peacock sends it back to Gray. Peacock joined on loan from the Arsenal Academy in January, making her 5th start this afternoon since then. Escort. Oh, lovely ball through to Shepherd, who didn't quite read it. Back now with Escort, whose shot pummels into, I think it was Carto. He's gone down in a bit of pain, holding her midriff. Play goes on. Now it's with Larkin. I think Everett is signalling to the referee, because that would have been a really painful one for Carso. It's right in the midriff. She'll be feeling winded. Obviously the referee only has to stop the play for a head injury, but can at their discretion stop it. And Amy Everett was saying to the referee, you need to bring this play to a halt. I'm sure she'll be fine ultimately, but it looked like a really painful one.
That is the definition of taking one for the team there, and I think that's the bravery of getting yourself in the way, making sure that you're protecting your goal at all costs. And there's definitely been situations where my defenders have had to go down, because it just knocks the breath out of you and you can't do much. And the position that she is on the pitch, I don't think there's much the ref can do in terms of trying to ask the players to play around her. So it's definitely the right call, stopping play and just letting her get her breath back.
She's been a regular in the heart of the Palace midfielders, Carso. This is her 16th start of the season. Yet to win a full Sweden cap. She was called into the squad for the first time back for those World Cup Euro qualifiers against France and England, in fact, back in 2024. Carso, player the Swedish team clearly think highly of, and with a bright future ahead of her. Still only 23. She needs to leave the field now, having received treatment, but will likely return imminently, I'd imagine. 2.5 minutes to the break, plus added time. Crystal Palace, as things stand, with the point that will take them up automatically ahead of Charlton, who are trailing at home to Birmingham, who will win the title. Birmingham. Palace will finish second. Charlton will have to go into the playoff as things stand. Long way to go on a thrilling final afternoon to the season in BWSL 2. Howard gets there first for Palace, turns the full 360. Larkins surging through the middle. Vierden puts Bull under pressure. Portsmouth momentarily get it away, but here's Littlejohn. No foul, says the referee. Wilding got the foot on the ball. Carso is back in action and threads it through the middle. Portsmouth clear once more, drops to Nolan, now with Everett, the Palace skipper. Carso loses her footing, but just manages to flick it off to Littlejohn. Now it's with Swaby again. She finds Larkin, who tries to ping it through to Vierden, but Bull is there for Portsmouth. Littlejohn Goes all the way back to Yanez. Nolan to Sharp. Cato. Peacock for Portsmouth.
A little bit sloppy there from Palace. I think they need to be better with keeping the ball, otherwise they're just in a position of trying to run and chase it back. I mean, some of the well-worked play on the left and the right-hand side, but you know, when they're winning it back, they're setting it up front with no real intention of trying to locate those players. So yeah, I think they just need a little bit more composure on the ball for me.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. It'll be interesting to see what, if anything, Joe Potter does at half-time. Ruisha Littlejohn commits the foul, and she's shown a yellow card. First yellow card of the game in the 45th minute.
A couple of those challenges now from Littlejohn, conceding those free kicks in those dangerous areas. She's not going to be happy with that, especially 1 minute before the whistle for half-time.
Yeah, she's a tenacious player, and of course we have seen that boil over on occasion throughout an illustrious career. Foul on Shepherd here, badly timed, no doubt about the free kick or the yellow card. Barker to take it. Is there another twist before half-time? Taken short to Hornby. Hornby hangs one up towards that far post, and Yanez was taking no chances, but actually she's kept it in play. And we're into the first 30 seconds of 4 minutes of added time as the flag goes up. Palace perhaps get away with one there.
I will be slightly critical there of Shea Yanez. I think the ball was floating. There was quite a lot of time for her to be able to read the trajectory of the ball, and I think she would have done a little bit better there just to have that claim and clear the danger, rather than trying to get that fist to it and try and punch it out for it to come back again. I think she was slightly fortunate in a way that the offside was up.
Vierden turns, tries to wriggle away, and she's pulled back. There'll be a second yellow card. Jazz Bull, the Portsmouth captain, is booked on this occasion. It's Julia Kings, writes another name into her notepad. Bull for the shirt pull on Ashley Vierden. Blanchard. Too much on the ball, and Peacock gets there to smash it forward, but it comes straight back in her direction. Escort through the middle, and now it's with Larkin of Palace. Doesn't quite manage to pick out Blanchard. Nixon squirms away from Sharp. Portsmouth have another surprise in them just before the break. Swaby gets there just before Hornby. Real tussle between the pair on that far touchline. Hornby keeps it in. Swaby concedes the throw.
I'm enjoying this Nixon-Sharp battle on the left-hand side here. Is what Nixon's doing is super smart. She's seeing that, you know, Sharp does like to go in quite hot on the challenges, but she's turning her body and going at pace and driving at her, which is leaving Molly Sharp a little bit for dust at the moment. So I think she needs to be careful of that on that left side.
Here's Nixon on the right side. She's everywhere this afternoon, Angelina Nixon. Barker to Robotham. Bull. Hornby's offside, needlessly offside too. That's a real shame for Portsmouth, who look like they might be building something in the final moments of this first half. They took a shock early lead when Meg Hornby's third-minute corner found its way directly into the net beyond the grasp of Shea Yanez. Palace hit back pretty quickly with Molly Sharp's goal in the 11th minute. That's how it's stayed since. There's been plenty more action and incident to keep us entertained, but no more goals since those opening 11 minutes. Sharp gets there first. Blanchard's on the charge, but he'll find his way through to Bull. And that will probably be the last half chance of the first half. The 4 minutes of added time is up, so it's now up to Julia Kings as to just how much more she will add.
Love to be a fly on the wall of the change room of the Palace half-time chat. I'm hoping everyone's got their phones locked away.
And there goes the half-time whistle. Yes, it will be really interesting, won't it, whether Joe Potter allows them to find out that scoreline, because the way the score is at the Valley, this draw is enough for Palace, but they don't want to find themselves playing for a draw in the second half. Molly Sharp with the goal that has given Crystal Palace equity here in Sutton. 1-1 at the break after they found themselves reeling from the shock of Meg Hornby's third-minute corner, which went directly into the back of the net. Half-time in this promotion showdown day. Crystal Palace 1, Portsmouth 1. Crystal Palace, confirmation that Lola Brown is on for Ruisha Littlejohn, who picks up that booking late on in the first half. I've got Chloe Morgan alongside me this afternoon, the former Crystal Palace and Tottenham goalkeeper. Interesting change at the break. Lola Brown on for Ruisha Littlejohn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really exciting change. I think, you know, Lola Brown's one of those new kind of upcoming young players, you know, a probably future cohort of the Lionesses, and you kind of see the mentality that, you know, the Lionesses setup is trying to create in these youngsters, and especially with the Chelsea setup as well. They're made of tough stuff. I mean, we see what Michelle Agyemang has done in those high pressure moments. We've seen Katie Reid come on in these kind of moments too. You know, Lola Brown is put in exactly the same situation. I think she knows what she has to deliver today. She knows she has to be confident, and she knows that she has to create chances for Palace. It's it's not 45 minutes to sit on their laurels. It's 45 minutes to go absolute hell for leather and hope that promotion is sealed today. So I'm excited to see what she does.
Yeah, I think we all are. Still only 18, Lola Brown, who was briefly on the ball there. Low ball in towards Larkin, can't quite bring it under control. It's back to Brown, looking for an instant impact. Still only 18, on loan for the season from Chelsea. Described by Sonia Bonpastor last Sunday as one of the greatest young talents in the country. She's not started a game for Palace. It's her 10th appearance from the bench. Lovely ball through by her there to Veerden, who takes it beyond Gray. Ashley Veerden puts Crystal Palace into the lead. A win will guarantee them promotion back to the BWSL. And for the first time this afternoon, they have the lead. Ash Veerden, one of their most impressive players of the season, but what an impact from the half-time substitute Lola Brown, 18 years old, with the through ball to Ash Veerden, the Dutch woman, who was so composed in the finish.
Oh, Lola Brown, I mean, the talisman, I was just singing her praises, just saying how confident and calm and collected that she'll need to be in this game. And literally one of the first things she does, plays a gorgeous through ball in, the sight that she has there. And, you know, Veerden still has a lot to do. She's kind of slightly off balance, but she puts the ball in the back of the net. That is an absolutely great start for Palace, and Joe Potter will be so pleased with that. But what a great start from Lola Brown there.
What an impact from the Chelsea loanee. Palace striking earlier in this second half than Portsmouth did when they took the lead in the first half. Oh, Brown wins it again. Oh, she's really in the mood this afternoon, isn't she? Been on the pitch less than 3 minutes, already set up a goal. And wins a corner. Wow. Well, if Palace needed a pick-up at half-time, they've got it in the shape of Lola Brown.
There's a scary fearlessness to some of these younger players. The anxiety and the nerves don't get to them like the OGs.
You can see that fearlessness coursing through her, can't you, Chloe?
Oh, it's great to watch, and it just looks like she's enjoying herself. I mean, the celebration that she had with the rest of the girls there, they can see how much that moment meant to her to get that assist. She's she's on fire at the moment.
Blanchard with a low ball from the corner. Back to Blanchard, who wins the corner off Milner. Just a reminder, a Palace win takes them up whatever happens at the Valley. Perversely, they might now fancy a Charlton equaliser, because that would make Crystal Palace champions. If Palace win and that other game is a draw, then Palace are champions. If Palace draw and that other game is a draw, they don't go up at all. Here's Blanchard with the low ball to Veerden, who's just put Palace ahead. And she plays it back to Blanchard. Blanchard forces Gray to just pass it out of play for another Palace corner. They have started this second half having found an extra gear at the break. Whatever Joe Potter said, the substitution has clearly made a difference right from the offing. Palace now trying to put this game to bed. Veerden knocks one into the danger zone. Oh, it's off the bar. Portsmouth survived. Palace so close to giving themselves a 2-goal cushion.
That's 3 great chances and 3 great corners there, and it's really putting Portsmouth under the caution. You know, we heard from Josie Green at half-time saying how Joe Potter would be pushing for better standards, trying to find that extra percent, trying to get that extra quality in the final third, and that's exactly what Palace have done. They are showing up, and they have a real intent here to get this game sorted and put to bed.
It was Molly Sharp who scored the first goal, Palace's first goal, who clattered one against the bar there, and she will feel she should have done better. Great work once again from Veerden. Really unorthodox ball in. Well, in fact, it was Everett, I think, who had the shot against the crossbar.
Another little shout out there as well to Gray for that initial save. She's been absolutely pivotal in Portsmouth, still keeping a foothold in the game.
Yeah, really impressive, Jess Gray, this afternoon. The Portsmouth goalkeeper. As it stands, Birmingham still top, 44 points on goal difference from Palace, because both those teams started the day level on 41. They're both winning, and Charlton are being pushed into the playoff against Leicester. Twists and turns so far throughout the afternoon. 5 minutes into the second half, Blanchard picks it up for Palace, surges down the centre, lays it off to Larkin with the back heel to Howard.
Just got themselves caught in less and less space as they were going through that middle there. Got a little bit congested. I think they would have done a little bit better then to pass out to the left-hand side. Would have looked like Ashley Veerden was maybe anticipating a pass.
Sharp halts Nixon's progress down the left, knocks it out of play for the Portsmouth throw. Everett, the Palace skipper, with an up and under. Header flicked on by Howard, trying to find Larkin. Blanchard brings it out of the sky, plays it back to Everett. Still only a 1-goal lead. So well have Palace started this second half. You almost think they're a bit more comfortable than they are, but as long as that scoreline stays the way it is, Portsmouth have a chance of affecting the promotion race again. But lovely footwork from Larkin, who tries to find Brown. Oh, and she couldn't get the shot away. Well, the afternoon got almost even better to the Loney from Chelsea. But there was a priceless Portsmouth boot in the way. Is Jazz Bull, and her ball is behind Hornby.
Feels like there's a bit of a magnetic field around Lola Brown at the moment. Every time that someone's looking up and trying to find her, she manages to get herself in the way. That's 2 almost clear-cut chances, but the ball just sort of escaped and got trapped underneath her feet. But it feels like she's ready and primed, waiting to get her debut goal for Palace.
It really does look that way. She's got the bit between the teeth. Here's Carto for Palace. Now with Veerden, a player whose goal at the moment is sending Palace back to the promised land. Everett tidies up. Hornby puts Inez under pressure. Tussle in the middle of the park. Blanchard picks it up for Palace, but Barker's there for Portsmouth. Oh, and Sharp's done well to put Milner under pressure. She's not giving it up, Molly Sharp. Throw-in's gone the way of Portsmouth.
Absolutely unmatched work rate there from Molly Sharp, and you can see Joe Potter there really clapping her and encouraging her, because she can see, you know, what Molly Sharp is trying to do. She's trying to chase down that ball. Every ball is an opportunity for her. So yeah, really well done from her. She's been absolutely so impressive in this game, and I feel like she's really been, you know, one of the most stable and confident players on the pitch today. And you know, Joe Potter there trying to tell everyone to calm down a little bit, to take their time. They can enjoy this lead for a little while. Yes, they probably need to get another goal to really kind of ease the pressure, but at the same time enjoy the possession as well.
Nixon threads it through to Shepherd. Shepherd will get there ahead of Everett. Knocks a low ball in towards Hornby, but it goes all the way through into the grateful arms of Yanez. With that very important early save, although from the resulting corner she was beaten. It was a fine save just seconds into this match, in which so much has happened in the opening 55 minutes.
It's definitely been the drama that you want in this game, for sure.
It really has, and here's Brown again, the half-time substitute, who set up the goal, which is taking Palace into the top flight. She's found Vierden again! Oh, it's sensational from Lola Brown and Ashley Vierden. A telepathic understanding between the pair. 2 assists from Brown, 2 goals from Vierden in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Have put Crystal Palace on the verge of a return to the Barclays Women's Super League. Brown picked her out in acres of space in that Portsmouth penalty box. And a really composed finish from the Dutch woman. But what a ball from Lola Brown.
Such an impressive pass. She really looked up. She saw exactly where Vierden was. That is a pinpoint accuracy pass. Again, a second assist between this pair. It's almost like a Bunny Shaw, Vivian Miedemar type link-up, and they've been playing together for a matter of minutes in the scheme of their careers together. So absolutely incredible. Lola Brown as well, so deserving of all the sort of the expectation around her and all the people that think she's going to go on and do big things. And this is a real game to showcase what she can do, especially in a game that means so much to her club and so much pressure is on the line.
Well, if it wasn't enough, there's been another goal at the Valley. Which way has it gone? We'll find out shortly. Here's Bull for Portsmouth. Is it going to be a goal which gives Palace even greater hope? I mean, it doesn't matter if Palace win, they're going up whatever happens, and they have a 2-goal cushion. We'll find out shortly what happens at the Valley, but Portsmouth are in the ascendancy. Hornby, flag's gone up, chance wasted. Well, it's a Birmingham corner at the Valley, so I think we can tell what's happened. And from the corner, the Blues have doubled their lead. It's Lederhammer again with her second goal of the afternoon. So Birmingham heading up still as title winners, and Crystal Palace following them into the top flight. Joe Potter and Remy Allen, her assistant, talking through whether they need to make further changes, with their team having got a strong foothold now on this game. So Birmingham and Palace heading up. Charlton being consigned to the playoff. Vierden on a hat-trick. Will she return the favour to Brown? Doesn't quite pick her out. Finds Howard instead! Kirsty Howard surely confirms Crystal Palace's place in the Barclays Women's Super League. The Scotswoman has her 8th league goal of the season. Sharp shooter Kirsty Howard is at it again. And Crystal Palace now lead 4-1. An electrifying start to the second half. And surely now, Chloe Morgan, Palace are back in the top flight.
I mean, you can never say never. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, there is still 35 minutes left of the game, but this is such a strong bit of distance now that Palace have created between Portsmouth. And again, massive shout out to Ashley Vierden, who's pretty much been a critical part of every single one of the chances that she's either scored or assisted in this game today. And, you know, that just goes to show kind of how prolific she has been over the course of the season. She really is on fire today. But for Howard, she's had a couple of missed opportunities in that first half, and it really feels like she deserved this one. She absolutely deserved this one. Completely wrong-footed Gray and put that in the bottom left-hand corner. There was absolutely no chance. There was nothing Gray could have done about that, but great team goal, and it's smiles all round for Palace players and also the fans.
Well, between the 47th minute and the 57th minute, Palace have taken the score from 1-1 to 4-1. Substitute Lola Brown, Ash Vierden have played a key part in that. With a fine finish too from Kirsty Howard, the ever-reliable Kirsty Howard, who was with Joe Potter up at Rangers, followed her down to South London. First time she's played outside of Glasgow, in fact, Kirsty Howard. She's been with Celtic and Rangers and Glasgow City. Portsmouth not quite done though. They're not giving up. Nixon's carrying the fight to Palace and winning a free kick, and this is Meg Hornby territory. She loves the free kick here on this left-hand side, about 15 yards outside the box. Mikate with the foul.
I was going to say, it feels like a really interesting experiment now to see how Portsmouth respond after going 4 goals down. It's you know, this game doesn't mean anything to them in terms of the relegation already been secured, but you know, for Portsmouth, do they absolutely throw their heart and soul into it and finish on a high, or it was actually 4-1, a little bit too far out of reach, and you can see the heads start to go down. But credit to Portsmouth for taking the game to Palace and trying to cause an upset here today. So yeah, still 30 minutes left to play. It is all to play for. I don't want to write anything down at the moment. It's still very much up in the air.
Hornby with one of those specialist free kicks, and it leads to a real scramble in the Palace box, but the whistle goes. Standing showing moments ago that actually Birmingham and Palace extending their leads obviously doesn't change things too much. Birmingham still on course for the title, Palace on course for the second promotion spot, Charlton being condemned to the playoff position. The only way Palace, by the way, could overhaul Birmingham to their title is a very unlikely one. They'd have to win by 9 goals more than Birmingham managed to win by. At the moment they're winning by 1 goal more than Birmingham have managed to win by. So the title very much heading Birmingham's way, unless there's a real collapse from Portsmouth, but they haven't shown an indication of that. You have to give them a lot of credit, Portsmouth, for the way they arrived here in South London today, just 6 days on from relegation. Took the lead, kept themselves in the fight, but have been blown away in the early stages of the second half. There's going to be a change as Elise Hughes, what a moment for her, because she was injured on the penultimate day of Palace's last promotion season. She missed the game when Palace clinched title and promotion back in 2024, Elise Hughes. And she gets the chance to play a part in what is now very much looking like another promotion party as she comes on for Kirsty Howard, whose goal moments ago gave Palace that 4-1 lead. It looked like Jemima Dahu also getting ready to come on for Portsmouth. There's a Portsmouth goal kick. Tidies up for Palace, back to Yanez. Shepherd tries to put her under a bit of pressure. Nixon for Portsmouth. Too much on the pass to Shepherd. Yanez comes and gathers. A little less than half an hour plus added time to play. Palace win means they go up whatever happens at the Valley. They've got a 3-goal cushion. You would like to think now, if you're of a Palace persuasion, that surely they can't blow it from here. Strange things happen in Barclays Women's Super League 2. The drama has just kept coming week after week. And will Shepherd get onto the end of this free kick, and can she find a second for Portsmouth? It's inches wide of the post. So close there, Lucy Shepherd, to restoring a bit of hope for Portsmouth. And that's what Palace need to be careful of.
I think it's a bit of a warning shot here for Palace. You know, they've got, you know, a number of goals in the last 10 or 15 minutes, which is amazing in terms of the pressure, but also they're not keeping the ball. Possession is still not in large chunks of time, and they can afford to kind of ease off a little bit and kind of afford to enjoy the possession a little bit more. We'd like to see more of that.
From the corner, it's come all the way. Again, putting Yanez under a bit of pressure, but she's responded well on that occasion. One of Meg Hornby's danger corners once more, but Yanez gets that one away, and you have to credit Amy Everett for the block actually on that Shepherd shot, which led to the corner as Blanchard stayed on side. The flag's not gone up. Can Blanchard make it 5? She does! Annabelle Blanchard, on the day she was celebrated for making her 100th appearance last week, a game in which she scored in. She's on target once more. Annabelle Blanchard, Palace's long-serving midfielder, the creative playmaker, who has brought so much spark to this scintillating second half of the season for Palace, adds further gloss to the scoreline.
That is an amazing counter-attack there from Crystal Palace, and a massive solo effort there from Annabelle Blanchard. She still had a fair bit to do to try and shrug the defenders off, and that's a great pass in there. She just about managed to keep on side, and you can see her looking a little bit at the flag there, but managing to roll past Gray, who's had an absolutely outstanding game. But again, I will give a bit of a shout-out to Lola Brown, who started off that movement right from the very back. She was involved in that play. She's everything she's done right. She's done perfectly this game. So yeah, but big shout also to Annabelle Blanchard. She's been incredible, work rate unmatched.
Yeah, Annabelle Blanchard's still only 24. She feels so much more experienced than that. That her 6th goal in the BWSL 2 this term. And I think rather fortunate, perhaps the offside flag didn't go up from our angle, but the assistant referee had a better angle than us. Triple change for Portsmouth. Angelina Nixon goes off. Jemima Dahu, former Manchester City youngster, is on. Ava Robotham off too for Hannah Cohn. In fact, a double change for the visitors. Dahu and Cohn on. Nixon and Robotham off. Cohn was rather surprised to see her on the bench this afternoon. She had played every single minute of the league season before this game, Hannah Cohn. Inez hoists it high. And I'd like to think now, if you're a Palace fan, that this really could turn into a bit of a promotion party, because they've got plenty of breathing space. Portsmouth now, 4-goal advantage. If they win, they are going up, and they look very much likely winners now.
Starting to think that even if Birmingham City do win their game and Palace continue at the rate they are, and the work rate and the goal scoring prowess, that they could actually still be in with a chance at the title, when the goal difference starts to look a little bit smaller and smaller every minute that goes by.
Is looking somewhat likely, still pretty unlikely, but a good deal more likely than at the start of the afternoon. Blanchard, the latest goal scorer, plays it through to Larkin. Larkin will feel like she very much wants to get on this score sheet. Abby Larkin started the game as Palace's top scorer of the season with 8. That's now been levelled by Howard. Goal scorers for Palace this afternoon: Molly Sharp with their equaliser in the 11th minute, Veerden with 2, Kirsty Howard and Annabelle Blanchard. Jo Prosser will be absolutely delighted with the way her team approached this second half, the way they responded to that shock goal early on in the game. Just 3 minutes in, they found themselves trailing to Meg Hornby's corner, which nestled directly into the back of the net. On an afternoon where they knew that defeat would almost certainly mean they weren't going up. They could have been cowed, they could have found the nerves too overwhelming, but they quickly hauled themselves onto level terms. And then the half-time introduction of Chelsea loanee Lola Brown has changed the game. Jay Sadler, no doubt already, him and his coaching staff thinking ahead to next season. They'll be keen to get themselves up at the first time of asking. They've given plenty to BWSL 2 over these last 2 seasons. A thrilling escape from the drop for them last season. Wasn't to be this time round. Here's Hughes for Palace. She can't pick out Larkin. And Gray just plucks it out of the sky. Dahu under pressure from Blanchard. Knocks it back to Barker. Plays a 1-2 with her. Now it's with Bill. Back to Dahu. She herself, Jemima Dahu, still only 20 years old, signed from Blackburn last summer. Started out in Manchester City. This is her 9th appearance from the bench. She's also started 6 games. Well, Lola Brown, oh, what a ball from her. to Veerden. I mean, Palace fans will have watched much more of Lola Brown than I have this season. This is her 10th appearance from the bench. She hasn't started a game, but I can't believe she's made an impact quite as great as this in her season on loan at Palace. Important player though she's been, she just seems to have found an extra gear this afternoon.
You can tell that she's really, really enjoying herself.
Here she is again with a cross to Hughes. A third assist from Lola Brown. And Elise Hughes with the header. A fairy tale header, given what happened to her the last time Palace were promoted. An ACL sustained the week before that kept her out for much of the BWSL season. But she looked up, she read Lola Brown's pass to perfection. She knew exactly where that cross was going, ghosted in at the far post and nodded home. Palace's 6th of the afternoon.
She's been absolutely unreal. I mean, Elise Hughes only on the pitch for a number of minutes, but she's so good at those aerial battles, and you can see there she knew exactly where the ball was going to be. Another pinpoint pass from Lola Brown, quickly turning into the Crystal Palace super kid. I mean, everything she's touching at the moment turns to an assist. She's been absolutely phenomenal since she came on.
Well, this time last year, Elise Hughes was part of a Palace team that was just about to be relegated from, in fact just had been earlier a year ago earlier this week they came down, but they're heading back up in style. Palace making a couple of changes. 20 minutes to go. Molly Sharp, whose goal brought Palace level, goes off. Chloe Arthur, one of those coming on, as is Lucy Newell, who's on loan from Manchester United. So Molly Sharp goes off, Mee Carter goes off, Chloe Arthur replaces Sharp, and Lucy Newell, the on-loan Manchester United youngster who started last week, comes on for Mee Carter. And I think, as you would say, well, Lola Brown, what an afternoon. She's the story of the afternoon. Spent the season on loan here from Chelsea, who I think the developments, getting her those minutes, described by Sonia Bonpastor last summer before she left as one of the most talented youngsters in the country. This time last year she just made a WSL debut for Chelsea against Tottenham. Played in the Champions League 2 against Celtic last season. Helped England under-17s to 4th place at the 2024 World Cup. Now an England under-20 player, and clearly one for the future, one for the near future, given how she's played this afternoon. And yes, we have to obviously take into consideration Palace are taking on a team who's already been relegated. Here's Blanchard looking for her 2nd of the afternoon. A team who had nothing but pride to play for this afternoon, but they were certainly playing with that pride. They're still playing with the pride they can muster, but it's becoming an increasingly difficult afternoon for Portsmouth, and much of that is down to the impact that Lola Brown has made since coming on at the break. 3 assists. Palace were level, 1-1 at half-time. They're now 6-1 up, and as you were saying, Chloe Morgan, it might not be long before we have to get the calculators out and see whether Palace have a chance of pipping Birmingham to the title on goal difference.
If they continue at the same work rate and scoring 5 goals in the last 20 minutes and do the same again, it could become very, very close.
Well, there's the table at Birmingham plus 22, Palace now plus 18, so just a 4 behind. Hughes going for her 2nd of the afternoon. Oh, and a real scramble, ball clatters it away. Obviously, if it was to be level on goal difference, and Jess Gray has caught one, looks like in the head. Well, got to hope that the Portsmouth goalkeeper is okay, and I think a Palace player down too. And a Portsmouth defender also elsewhere in the area, so a real odd scramble in that. As Abby Larkin is back on her feet for Palace, but Portsmouth have goalkeeper and defender down. I just hope everyone here, well, it looks like cramp for, it might be Jemima Dahoud, no, it's Neve Peacock, cramp. Look at Hughes's shot, which was straight down the throat of Gray, and Larkin tried to get to the rebound, and Gray caught the full force of that.
It's one of those really frustrating days as a goalkeeper where the scoreline just doesn't reflect the effort that you've put in and how well you've done to prevent that scoreline going even further. And you know, I've got to give a real shout out to Jess Gray. She's been absolutely phenomenal. The confidence that she's shown, the resilience that she's shown. You know, it's not easy being a goalkeeper when you keep conceding goals. You know, it'd be quite easy for you to get your head down, but she is there. She is putting herself in the way of danger. She is coming out for those aerial takes. She's doing everything right. It's just a shame the score doesn't necessarily reflect that.
Yeah, after a really difficult start to the season when Portsmouth were very leaky defensively, they got their act together quickly. They haven't had too many games where they've shipped the goals. A lot of their games, a lot of their defeats have been pretty narrow. This is turning into their biggest defeat of the season as things stand, a 5-goal margin. And look, some of the Palace fans following events at the Valley. I don't think they have to worry now. A win means they go up whatever happens. That's certainly going to happen. There is the slimmest chance of pipping Birmingham to the title. If they were to go level on goal difference, it would then go to goals scored. At the start of the afternoon, Birmingham had scored, I believe, 6 goals more than Palace. So I think Palace have now scored 2 goals fewer. But anyway, it's going to get very, very complicated if Palace keep up their current rate of scoring, because between minutes 47 and 69 they've scored 5 goals. Not bad going, and they show no sign of slowing the pace. You do feel for Portsmouth, really tough afternoon it was always going to be for them, coming here so soon after their own relegation had been sealed last week. It's becoming an increasingly trickier afternoon for the visitors. Joe Potter will be absolutely delighted with this second half showing. Elise Hughes has been among the scorers. Has not quite managed, or has she? Yes, it is a corner to Crystal Palace.
It's a really classy game from Portsmouth. You can say that their heads are 100% still in it, and every time they do concede a goal, it does feel like they gather together, they go again, and they're really in this to the end as a team.
Yeah, I have to give them so much credit this afternoon for playing their parts in this enthralling final promotion day showdown. Blanchard. Larkin tries to get there. Blanchard is dispossessed by Hornby. Tries to carry it down the left-hand flank. Can't get beyond Swaby, who goes all the way back to Yanez.
I think in moments like this is game management for Palace. They've already done enough to secure that promotion spot. All they need to do now is see out the next 15 or 20 minutes in calm as much as they can. I think it's about enjoying what they've created and the fact that they have got this massive advantage now. But what I want to see from them is trying to get more possession built up and trying to keep possession and enjoy that, rather than trying to chase the ball down and winning it and losing it and winning it again. It can become quite tiring, and I think that's when Portsmouth could potentially creep back in to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. In fact, wasn't it just seconds before, I'm trying to remember which goal it was, maybe Palace's 4th goal, where Portsmouth was so close to getting one back, and within seconds of that it was Annabelle Blanchard, in fact, who then puts Palace 5-1 up. That was the last sign of danger for Palace. They've been very comfortable since that moment. They're looking to add to the scoreline now, and they've got a corner. Vierden with the corner for Crystal Palace. Can they find a 7th goal? She loops it in high, drops to Newell, whose header just found itself into a mass of Portsmouth bodies. Here's a reminder of how things stand. Birmingham and Palace level on points. On goal difference, Birmingham have a 4-goal advantage. So Birmingham winning the title, but can Palace overhaul that? If they go level on goal difference, it will go to goals scored. At the moment, as things stand right now, Birmingham City have scored 46, Palace 44. So Palace need to haul in a 4-goal difference margin. If there was no more score from Birmingham, they would then be leading on goals scored by virtue of those 4 extra goals scored here. Seems a tall task. We need them to get into double figures, but it's not inconceivable given the energy, tenacity, creativity in fact that they have approached this second half. Newell back to Yanez. Of course we can't rule out there being further goals for Birmingham, or indeed Charlton getting themselves back into that game at the Valley. The most important thing for Palace though, they're heading up. A win means they go up and they are surely winning this game. Larkin deflects. Gray read the deflection well.
No chance of Palace slowing down.
No, this is an afternoon, I think, now where every single one of these players wants to get themselves on the score sheets. They're going to be celebrating promotion. They'd love a little personal celebration too, I'm sure, any of those players who are not yet on the goal tally themselves.
I think Josie Green can feel slightly more assured now, slightly less stressed on the sidelines than she was at half-time.
So true, Chloe. That was a fascinating interview at half-time when Sophie Evans, our reporter, spoke to Josie Green, the Crystal Palace player. Is currently out, currently pregnant, as she mentioned in that interview. And everyone with the Palace persuasion was feeling those nerves at the break. It was only 1-1. That seems a long time ago now. Palace on the charge for a 7th. Nolan tries to bring it back, but got the pass all wrong, and Portsmouth were able to clear that.
You can see now when Palace are, going quick on the counter-attack, you're getting 3 or 4 bodies in and around the box, anticipating where that ball might go, but that was just slightly too far back for them to latch onto. They'd already progressed too far into the box.
I think some of the Palace fans are singing about doing a conga. We might see some congas at the end of the match. Joe Potter and her assistant Remy Allen. Stern faces, given the fact their team's 6-1 up and heading for promotion to the BWSL. And they'll be wanting to see no let up from their charges in this final 9 minutes plus added time. Swayme carries it beyond Bull. Gets a low ball in, but it's all the way through to Gray. Portsmouth are going to make a change. Jazz Younger, Portsmouth's longest serving player, comes on for Neve Peacock, who joined on loan from Arsenal's academy back in January. Jazz Younger, injured for much of the season. This just her 2nd substitute appearance, the 25-year-old. Good to see her getting back to action. And now, of course, the summer break comes to check that progress. Escort with the layoff to Barker. Well, I hope it isn't long before we see Portsmouth back in BWSL 2. I think over these 2 seasons, they've been a credit to the division. The way their players have attacked the challenges in front of them. It's been a really difficult end to the season. Relegation confirmed last week, and it's turned into a heavy defeat this afternoon after a really encouraging start, a really impressive first half indeed. And hopefully they will chart a way back to the 2nd tier before too long.
I think it's obviously been a very tough season for them. They have also gone through quite a few injuries that's made it a little bit more difficult for the manager to contend with. But we've seen a lot of progress in and around the Portsmouth women's team. I mean, July last year they launched a professional game academy for younger players, kind of investing in that longer term development. And they were one of the first clubs at that level to turn fully professional in their women's team in May 2024. So there's a lot of progress that has been made at the club. It's just super unfortunate, obviously, that this relegation is happening. But like you said, I'm very much hopeful they'll find a way back to WSL2 football.
Brown inside to Blanchard, tries to lay it off to Hughes. Younger's all over Hughes, and Hughes gets the shot away. She looked like she was having her shirt pulled. Fair play to her, she didn't go down. She was more intent on trying to find the target, as she did, but it was a comfortable save for Gray.
I think Younger was a little bit lucky there not to have caught the eye of the referee with that quite obvious shirt pulling, I'd say, against Elise Hughes.
Oh, lovely ball from Blanchard. Larkin's got on the end of it, but can't find the back of the net. Well, Gray seemed to get her position slightly wrong, but Larkin couldn't take it beyond her. In fact, did she do a good job in narrowing the angle? You'll have a better idea than me, Chloe Morgan.
Yeah, I think the keeper did well there to come out super early and try and read that ball. I think she knew there that she wasn't going to get to it, but it was just a bit of a tough pass. But she'd done her best there to try and make herself as big as possible and narrow that angle for Abby Larkin. But it's a good day when Abby Larkin is noticeably frustrated for not scoring a goal after 6 have already gone in.
2 more changes for Portsmouth. Emma Jones, the number 9, celebrated her 100th appearance recently against Sunderland. She comes on for Lucy Shepherd. Evie Milner has departed. So Portsmouth looking to try and just bring a bit of stability over these closing stages, as they have done over the last couple of minutes. Lola Brown on the charge again. Tia Young on for Evie Milner. Confirmation of that most recent substitute for Portsmouth.
I think it's also a good move from Jay Sadler to try and encourage as many players to get minutes in this game as he can. I think you forget, obviously, that this game means it's that it was obviously wrapped up a week or so ago, but this will be the last time that Portsmouth play in the WSL2 until an unknown time. So it's about giving these players the minutes to appreciate how much this means to them to have that experience to play at this level when you're not quite sure when the club will be back in it.
Abby Larkin gets a standing ovation, but her afternoon has ended without a goal. She will be frustrated with that. Kelly Brady comes on in her place. Signed in January from Athlone Town. The 22-year-old Irish woman. It's her second appearance of the season, both from the bench. Swaby with the header out of play. Swaby, who of course scored Jamaica's first ever World Cup goal back at the 2023 tournament against Panama. Regular player in Jamaica's squad. Signed for Palace last January from AC Milan. So was part of the squad that wasn't able to keep Palace in the top flight, but they have come back in style. They're storming back to the top table of English football. Here's Emma Jones storming down the left side for Portsmouth. She's won her side of corner. You couldn't begrudge Portsmouth a second goal of the afternoon, I don't think. As Lucy Newell on loan from Manchester United.
They were slightly unfortunate not to get maybe one more in the first half, and then a couple of those better chances.
Barker on the corner for Portsmouth. Barker hangs it up high, it's flicked down towards Jazz Younger, but it just trickles behind for the Palace goal kick. So the sky's darkening in Sutton. It's been raining goals in this second half. And a promotion party beckons. title has surely eluded Crystal Palace. That appears to be heading the way of Birmingham City. But the main objective was immediate promotion, immediate automatic promotion back to the BWSL.
It's a very weird afternoon for all three clubs. Obviously, not knowing quite what's going on in each of the other games that are taking place, and you know, regardless of the outcome for any one of those three teams, there is still an opportunity to either go through on those automatic promotion spaces, or obviously to play in the playoffs. There's still that hope, even if it's not gone to plan, which looks like it might be the case for Charlton.
Yeah, it appears that Charlton would need 2 late goals to get the draw that they required at kickoff that would take them up. If that game did end in a draw, Palace would be champions. It's not looking that way right now. But as mentioned, the main objective for Palace was to achieve automatic promotion. They knew at the start of play a win would guarantee them that. Ultimately, they've claimed that win in style, but Portsmouth rather trying to get the last say in the match. There is going to be a fair bit of added time, it would seem. Tia Young, the substitute, momentarily ago introduced for Portsmouth. Swayed with the long throw, headed straight back at her by Wilding, who goes all the way back to Gray. Of added time yet for the 7th Palace goal. I guess the ultimate story would be whether Ash Veerden can complete her hat-trick, or whether Lola Brown, having made such an impact with 3 assists, could get her first goal. Veerden inside to Brady.
That really would be the icing on the cake for Lola Brown. It would be you couldn't even imagine that she would be doing this kind of thing in a game like today. So yeah, absolutely amazing from her.
Yeah, it's been a joy to watch. It's been a joy to watch this second half performance from Crystal Palace, but also on an individual basis. I think we're seeing very special talent in Lola Brown. Palace can take credit for the role they played in her development this season. Obviously, always important not to get too carried away with young players. So hope for good fortune of injury, steering clear of those. But here's Brown again into the area, checks back on Cone and drifts it towards that far post. Always looked like it was just going wide. Lola Brown had it again. She had an absolutely explosive start to the second half. Understandably, tailed off a little bit over the last 20 minutes, because I think she just put everything into that first 20 minutes of the half, where, not single-handedly, but she played a major part in turning this game around and helping send Palace back to the top flight.
She really has been the difference, and even that last opportunity there, I mean, anyone would have said maybe that was a bit of a dead ball, it was going to roll out and you could let the ball go and just kind of easily rely on the comfortable lead, but not Lola Brown chasing down that ball, cutting inside, cheeky little bit of footwork too, and then trying to whip that ball in across goal. And I think Ashley Veerden just at that near post, the far post, just trying to get something on it. But again, Lola Brown super unfortunate there not to get the 4th assist of this half.
Everett, captain, who is about to lead her team on a promotion party for the second time in 2 years. Palace went up as champions in 2024. Unfortunately, came straight back down in 2025, but heading up, it appears, as runners-up, taking full advantage of that one-season offer of 2 automatic promotion places. That won't be the case next year, when only the title winners will go up automatically, replacing the club that finishes bottom in a 14-team BWSL. The team that finishes second in BWSL 2 will have to play off against the team that finishes 13th. So that will be doubly painful, one would imagine, for Charlton if they don't manage, well, to turn things around very late on at home to Birmingham, and then if they don't manage to see off Leicester in the playoff, it's going to be even harder to go up next season. And that's why Palace will be so delighted, and it would appear Birmingham too, to get the job done this afternoon. Portsmouth looking for the final say in the game, but that ball drifts well beyond Hornby. Through to Yanez.
Especially with Charlton, where they've had such a great season. You really thought they were going to run away with the league and this was going to be a bit much more of a done deal a couple of weeks ago. But I think just at the last minute, you know, those nerves start to creep in, the gravity of what you might be able to achieve starts to creep in, and I think that's what maybe has unsettled them. And I think, you know, for Karen Hills' side, they've done so well to try and, you know, stay consistent, and every single year they seem to get closer and closer to actually being in a position to get that WSL promotion, but it always never seems to quite happen. It's always the bridesmaids, never the bride, I think, a little bit with Charlton over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, Palace and Birmingham can thank Portsmouth too. Well, look, just a reminder of how things stand as Portsmouth are on the charge with Young, and her shot clatters off Brown. He's got back to defend that one. Dahu from distance drifts wide. I was going to say Palace and Birmingham can thank Portsmouth because it was they who ended Charlton's 27-game unbeaten run back in March, and since then Charlton have only won 1 of 6, 1 of 7 now. Charlton had the chance back in March. You can see again that shot from Young clattering into Brown. Charlton had the chance to go up in March and they just haven't managed to get over the line. You don't want to see anyone miss out, but my heart really goes out to Karen Hills and Charlton for the way this season has just drifted away at the last from them. Hornby gets the low ball in. Barker keeps it in play, just about. No, it's gone behind.
You can see Amy Everett there telling everyone to get up. There was about 10 of the players just camped out in their own box there, just resolute in not trying to get any more chances to go past Shea Yanez. And, you know, incredible work rate again from Lola Brown. I don't know how many more times that we can carry on talking about her in the up front position, but coming down to deliver that block as well is yeah, absolutely amazing from her.
Joey Potter's side about to celebrate confirmation of their return. Here's the standings. The latest standings, Birmingham are taking the title on goal difference from Crystal Palace. The pair of them are finishing 2 points above Charlton, who will go into a playoff with Leicester, who have been confirmed as the team who will finish bottom of BWSL. That heavy defeat to Arsenal in midweek confirmed that West Ham will be safe and Leicester will have to play off, it would appear, against Charlton. They'll have to head to Charlton. Charlton will have the home advantage. And Leicester will be favourites, of course, as the WSL side. Blanchard with the layoff to Veerden. Veerden tries to find the return. Is there one last chance? Blanchard finds Veerden. Veerden gets a low cross in, but Cohn heads it behind with Brady in close attendance. There's probably going to be time for the corner. In the 7th minute of added time, can Palace find their 7th goal of the afternoon and just put the icing on the promotion cake?
Every fan waiting for that whistle to blow now. You can see the anticipation.
They can't wait for the celebrations to begin. In comes the corner. Gray plucks it out the air, and Julia Kings blows the full-time whistle. Crystal Palace are heading back to the Barclays Women's Super League. 370 days after they were relegated, they are going back up in style. 6 of the best, 6 scintillating goals. A half-time substitution that was a masterstroke from Jo Potter as Lola Brown came on and quickly set up 2 goals for this woman, Ash Veerden. One of Palace's most dangerous players of the season. Goals and assists coming every week from Ash Veerden. Jo Potter, in her first season as Crystal Palace manager, will lead the promotion party. Look at the scenes. Abby Larkin and Ash Veerden, who danced in delight, are dancing in the rain now almost a hail that is coming down to mark Crystal Palace's return to the Barclays Women's Super League. Smiles all round in Sutton. Didn't quite do enough to take the title, but the main objective was automatic promotion. Not for them the nerves of a one-off playoff against Leicester. They can celebrate, they can enjoy their summer, they can prepare for another season among the elites of English football.
Oh, it was a tense first half at Palace, coming away with this huge win right when it mattered. I mean, I couldn't be happy for the girls. You could see how much it means to them. Again, creating another moment of history in the Crystal Palace history books. It's absolutely unbelievable to see what they've done today. I mean, it's no mean feat trying to keep your head, trying to keep calm, especially in these moments that matters. And to walk away with this with a 6-1 win is absolutely outstanding for them. It means so much, and I really hope that they can go away and hopefully invite me actually to the celebration party. I'd love to be a part of that again. But this girl has played an absolutely huge part of that. Lola Brown, straight off the subs bench in that second half, the impact that she made, those assists, the pinpoint passes, the happiness that she feels. And you can see her there hugging Andy Green, who's one of the S&C coaches, who's been with the club for such a long period of time, and a massive reason the club has become so professional. And they're grinding out wins like this and seeing out seasons. And you know, you can see the shirts there already coming out, the We're Going Up celebration shirts, the flags. It's yeah, it's such a huge thing for these girls to do. Some of whom, you know, won't have played the WSL one before. So yeah, the anticipation starts now and the build starts now, dare I say.
Yeah, I guess we wonder what next for Lola Brown. Does she return to Chelsea, continue her development there? Does she have another loan? I mean, Palace fans, I'm sure, would love to be able to keep her. Maybe that's a question for another day. For now, it's all about Crystal Palace drinking in every joyous moment. Promotion back where we belong, says the banner. They believe they are worthy of top flight football. They had a taste of it last season. They started pretty well. They faded towards the end of the season. Joe Potter and her players are going to get another chance. Joe Potter, of course, a first chance. This is her first season. And what an impact she has made to guide Crystal Palace back to the top flight in her first season in charge. You'll remember how this felt with Tottenham. You went up as runners-up behind Manchester United in 2019.
I was just reliving the moment. It's a strange, weird feeling. You've achieved something that's so historic for the club, and at the same time you don't know what's going to happen next, especially if you haven't played in the WSL before. But for now, you kind of just take the moment, you reflect on how much hard work and how much dedication. You know, Joe Potter was talking just before the game started about how they've been going about their business, how they've been putting in those extra miles, back behind the scenes, getting everyone involved in this club journey. Lee Nicholson there, who was a former player, now turned player liaison, and Annabelle Johnson, who was the former captain, who was just on before Amy Everett. And even the babies want to get involved in the celebrations here today, especially with that safety mat too. So yeah, little do they know they're witnessing such a big moment in history for Crystal Palace that they are now a part of, with Amy Everett going over there to shake hands with her as well.
Surely the youngest fan in the house. Has collapsed with cramp. She played a part on her 101st appearance, a goal, and promotion seals. Baby will have the photographic and the filmographic evidence of being here on a historic day. We are going up, say the t-shirts and the flags, as Joe Potter leads the team in a dance of celebration. Players and fans united. The perfect response to last season's relegation. The perfect response this afternoon to Portsmouth's shock early lead. Head direct from the corner in the 3rd minute. Palace quickly hauled themselves level and then just exploded into life in the second half. The introduction of Lola Brown. Trying to dance off the cramp. I'm not sure that's advised. The medical staff might have a quick word with her about that.
I think that might actually just be a dance move, to be honest. I've seen that a fair few times before.
Great afternoon for the fans. who, as in the men's game, are among the most vocal in English football. They're always there providing the colour and the noise for the Eagles. Shaping up to quite a season for Crystal Palace Football Club, of course, because the men are now so close to their first ever major European final. And the women's team are back in the upper echelons. Heading up to a new 14-team Barclays Women's Super League 2026-2027. See the joy etched on every single one of those faces. Every player, so many players have played their parts.
It's one of those moments you really never forget. I mean, you look at the work rate of some of those individual players that have made this possible. I mean, Lola Brown, we can't talk about her enough and the impact that she made, but you also, you know, Shea Yenez has been keeping goals out consistently from the start of the season, and she's been a massive part of why the team in the position they are now. And Amy Everett is incredible captain, ensuring the shift after relegation drop-off is not easy at all, and to go and turn those fortunes around and get straight back onto the WSL within 12 months is absolutely heroic. And even Ashley Bearden as well, a massive part, so many assists, so many goals this season. Annabelle Blanchard shoring things up. I mean, we've seen the trickery from her too. It's been all and out an individual work rate, but then that's culminated in such a great team win here today.
Chloe Arthur with a young lad on her shoulders. So much to smile about in Sutton. An afternoon that started bathed in sunshine, ended with a hailstorm pretty much on the final whistle. Palace weathered the early storm and they came out bathed in that sunshine, bathed in the sunshine of a return to the Barclays Women's Super League. Elise Hughes celebrated with a goal this time instead of watching on 2 years ago with an ACL. Today, Palace clinched promotion 2 years ago. This afternoon was a fairy tale for her. She came off the bench and was among the scorers for Crystal Palace.
You can see all the players there really taking their time to engage with the fans who have been such a massive part of their season. You know, they're going around, they're giving hugs, they're giving out autographs, they're giving out photographs. I mean, you know, the Palace fans are some of the most passionate fans in the WSL too, and they've been there through thick and thin, even from my time with the club. And you know, young and old, everybody gets involved with them, and you always have the Eagles mascot somewhere in the crowd at some point at some of the games. And yeah, you can see how much this means to the girls and how much they really want the fans to be a part of this journey as they take them back to the WSL 1 and hopefully keep themselves there.
Well, the final whistle has only just gone at the Valley. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered for Palace. They knew a win would take them up, but a huge amount of added time has just ended, and Birmingham City can celebrate being the Barclays Women's Super League 2 champions. They missed out to London City Lionesses' Amy Merrick's side on the final day last season. Heartbreak for Karen Hills, who you can see there. She's got 3 weeks to rally the troops for a playoff against Leicester. If Charlton has got 2 late goals, then Crystal Palace would have been celebrating the title. That wasn't to be. Birmingham 2-0 winners at the Valley. They go up as champions. Crystal Palace follow them up as runners-up, and that was their main objective for the day. They knew a win, nothing at the Valley could prevent them reclaiming their Barclays Women's Super League place, and they got that win in style. 6-1 against Portsmouth, and they are back among the elite. Chloe, what an afternoon.
It's really put us through our paces, trying to work out the permutations, trying to deal with the stress and the drama, trying to be across both games, and yeah, it's all culminated in this huge win here at Crystal Palace's ground. And you know, commiserations also for Charlton. They obviously have been so great throughout the season and kind of just lost it at that final moment, but all to play for still with the relegation playoff game. I mean, Charlton on a good day can 100% take the game to Leicester City. There's a great opportunity for them to still make it into the WSL2, and, you know, for it to be quite an iconic season for the WSL1, to have 3 clubs from the WSL2 go up into the upper echelon. So it's it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to go and see that game. Charlton versus Leicester City, with Charlton's home advantage, of course, as well. And there's so much to play for both teams, and it's just who performs better on the day. And at the end of the day, it just comes back to that.